How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about my personal failed attempt at the BRRRR method. So I'm sure that almost every single one of you guys have heard of the BRRRR method from one of your favorite YouTubers here on the platform. However, if you guys have not heard of it yet, it stands for Buy, Renovate, Rent It Out, Refinance, and Repeat. So those are the 5 key things, and if you guys execute it correctly, it's the best way to own a property with little of your own money sitting in that property. But don't get me wrong, there are still ways that you can mess this up and the BRRRR method could not work correctly. And it's exactly what I did here. And I want to pretty much explain to you guys how I failed this and how I can help you guys avoid you all failing it. So I purchased this duplex a little over a year ago in hopes of executing this method properly. However, I did fail drastically. So I purchased this duplex for $226,000 with tenants on each side of it. Now, each unit needed work, as it has not been touched since the house was built in 1971. So the house was very outdated. So at the time that I purchased the house, the unit on the left was making $850 a month, and then the unit on the right was generating $780 every single month. Now don't get me wrong, I was still generating a little over $600 every single month with these 2 units being rented out for so cheap. So since I bought this house as an investment property and didn't have any plans to live in it, I did have to get a conventional loan, which did require 25% down for a house that has 2 units or more. So with that being said, after closing costs and 25% down, I ended up having to bring a little over $60,000 to closing. So once the units became vacant, I decided to go in there and renovate everything and make this beautiful. With that being said, I installed brand new luxury vinyl plank flooring, put brand new dual pane windows, new cabinets and countertops. I even knocked down a wall in each unit to make it a little more open. I installed a new HVAC unit since before it had the old baseboard heating that no one really likes. I painted the entire place. I put a brand new bathroom in, so a new vinyl tub and shower, new vanities. I ended up relocating the washer and dryer, so it was no longer located in the kitchen and it was now located in a hall closet. I installed new fans. I also went ahead and installed recessed lighting throughout the entire house, which really made it pop. I also painted the entire house, and I put a lot of time and effort to make this top quality for somebody. Also, while I was working on the house, I was up in the attic and I ended up finding out that the house had water damage. And with that being said, we ended up coming to the conclusion that we needed a new roof. So I installed an entire roof on the entire duplex, which cost a little over $4,000 to do. Now, the big key for me while doing this was that I try to keep costs down to a minimum and do as much of it myself as I possibly could. With that being said, I installed all the flooring myself, which took about a week or so, did all the painting myself, all the demo work. I even hired an electrician buddy that I knew, and I helped him do the electrician work. The plumber that I knew the plumber, and I ended up helping him here and there. So the key was to find people that I knew that were in that field and kind of just give them a hand, and also do a lot of things myself, which probably ended up saving me between $10,000 to $15,000. So the total renovation costs for both sides combined came out to a little under $65,000. Now that was to completely renovate both units, make them beautiful. So now my total all-in cash on this property is a little over $125,000 sitting into this house. The good thing is that now that both of these units were beautifully renovated, I was able to rent them out for each $1,400 a month, which means the entire duplex is bringing in $2,800 a month. And with my mortgage payment being a little less than $1,000 a month, I cash flow $1,800 every single month from this property, which is amazing. So once all these renovations were completed, I decided to go to the bank. I actually went to my buddy who is a loan officer, and I said, let's get a new loan. Let's refinance the house. So my plan was to pretty much execute this BRRRR method and pull out a bunch of money that I just put into that house. Now, where I really messed up and how I failed the BRRRR method here is that I did not do my research on the comps in the area for renovated duplexes. So where I live, there are not very many duplexes. It's very limited. With that being said, I couldn't find a single duplex that sold in the last 2 years that's renovated, so I did not have a good comp to compare my house to. Also, with the rents being higher, I thought that, hey, the price would go up significantly. So I was aiming for my house to be valued around $320,000. However, the appraiser came back and valued it at $275,000, which was a real bummer. So $275,000 is only $49,000 more than I purchased the house for. And if you guys remember when I told you all a few minutes ago, I ended up putting $65,000 into renovations here. So on paper, I really lost like $16,000 by doing this deal. Not really though. So even with the appraisal coming back low, I still decided that I wanted to move forward with the refinancing. So one thing that I didn't know, which I learned, is that for a multifamily property of 2 to 4 units, the bank requires you to have 30% of equity in the house. So when you purchase the house, they only require 25% down payment. But when you go to refinance it, they still want you to keep 30% of the home's value in cash in that property. That's something I never knew. On top of all of that, the closing costs are around $7,000, and my interest rate went up by a little over 1%. So this deal made absolutely no sense to go through with. So I decided to pull the plug on it, and I did not refinance this house. The good thing is that since the rents are so high, I am still pulling in about a 13% cash on cash return from my initial $125,000 investment. So it really could be worse. I'm not really losing out completely. So by doing this deal, I really learned my lesson to do my research on the comps prior to me putting so much money into renovations. And I really hope you guys now know this, and you guys are hopefully now doing your due diligence and really researching your market and researching other houses that have sold prior to buying a house and probably prior to putting all this money into a house as well. So hopefully this helps you all out so much. I know that I learned so much from my own mistake, and hopefully you guys don't need to make that mistake for you to learn this lesson as well. If you all enjoy the channel and enjoy all of the content I'm bringing to you guys, please make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys.